We've been in this arch cabin for a full year now, and we've seen all 4 seasons. One of the questions I had when I was building this is my unit going to be big enough to heat and cool this arch cabin? Well, today I'm going to go over that in this video and some things we would do different and some warnings that you may want to hear if you're planning to do this yourself. As far as our arch cabin is concerned, as far as insulation, we have spray foam insulation on the outside metal portion. Now that's behind a Prodex, so we have the metal, the Prodex, and then on top of that, in between the metal studs and stuff that hold the arch cabin up, is a spray foam insulation, and that is about the full thickness that we can get in there, which is about 3.5 inches. For the most part, it's shallow on a few spots, but that's how we primarily insulated it. And if you're wondering, are we having any problems with the spray foam insulation? Now, this was a can spray foam, so I don't know exactly what kind of spray foam it was, but we have not had any problems with moisture buildup in our spray foam that I know of as of yet. Now for the front wall here, this is a 2x6 wall, and it is fiberglass batt insulation. On the back wall, it's only a 2x4 wall, so it's only got 2x4 fiberglass batt. So our arch cabin is fairly decent insulated, and for the most part stays, pretty consistent. Now our primary source of heating and cooling is this Pioneer mini split unit, and it is a 24,000 BTU unit. It is supposedly supposed to heat down to -5 degrees, and we've tested that kind of out, and yeah, once it gets down to about 0 to 5 degrees mark, it kind of slowly stops working. It heats, we've got down to single digits just recently, and that actually did just fine heating down to the single digits. Once you get below that, it starts struggling, and then I would say, yeah, at -5, you're probably not working very well at that point. Now, because of that, we also went with a second heating source, and that is our pellet stove. We have a pellet stove, is rated for about 900 square feet. This is actually more than 900 square feet, but the pellet stove does just fine heating this entire footage. I guess the footprint is smaller than 900, but the total is over 900. I got a chicken. What are you doing, silly chicken? Don't peck my cord. Go on. Now, we love the pellet stove. We use it off and on throughout the winter time. I'll adjust it basically on how expensive the pellets are getting and how much the pellet stove is running. Or if we have a cold snap coming up, I'll also back it off some so I can store up those pellets for that cold snap. On how well these work together, the mini split does really good at keeping the main area cool. Now, it actually kind of blows, and it even blows back into the bathroom. Our layout is, we got the main entrance area, which is kind of like the living area. And then we have our dining off to the side, our kitchen behind the dining. And then behind the kitchen is the wall and everything for a bathroom. Off to that corner is a garage. And then on the top, we have our 2 rooms, one for us and the one for the kids. Now the top, it stays pretty cool as long as we keep our doors open. Now, that's the one thing I would probably do different coming into this now. I think I'd get a real small mini split unit that has a double header, and I would just put a small head on both rooms and have a small mini split in there. Because the problem is, when we close the doors, those rooms do start to change temperature quite a bit, especially in the summertime. We really only struggle with this in the summertime, actually, with the cooling. Just mainly because the sun comes out and heats up that metal roof real bad, and they get kind of warm if you have the door shut. And then we only have problems with that when the younger one needs to go down for a nap. Now, our pellet stove, it actually works really well for us. We can set it as kind of like a furnace style, and it will boot itself up, start a fire, and then shut itself off once it gets to a certain temperature. What happens is you set the temperature on it, and then once it gets about 3 degrees below that temperature, it'll start the kick-on process. It'll clean out its pot and everything by just blowing it out, and it'll start dump pellets in there and reheating them, and it'll eventually start a fire and heat it up. Now, once it gets going and gets it back up to temperature, it'll cycle off. It'll completely burn off the rest of the pellets that are remaining in the pot. And then it will literally just completely shut off and go dormant until it drops down again. I think it's a 3 degree or 4 degree difference. So it has a little bit of a swing. And what I do is I set the mini split kind of somewhere at the either right where it kicks on or kind of a little bit above it. And basically what happens is once the mini split kicks on, it'll start heating up the place and keeping this from running as much, or keeping the pellet stove from running as terribly much. But the higher I put that temperature on the mini split, it'll keep it from cycling on as much. But what happens is when the mini split can't keep up, then the pellet stove will kick on and will actually heat the place back up, and then the mini split will have a little bit where it can, keep it going. And I don't burn through so many pellets that way. Now, I can run the pellet stove off of a pretty simple inverter system. It doesn't take very much power to run. When it starts the fire, that's probably the biggest draw, because it has a electrical heating element that it starts. Now, the pellet stove just has fans that it runs. That's all it really does. For the most part, this has all been working very well for us. Like I said, the only thing I would change is maybe adding a mini split to the back and pumping it right into the rooms in the back. But for the most part, you don't even have to do that. If you are set up to where you don't have to have the doors closed for your rooms and you can just keep them open, they'll stay, for the most part, pretty close to what the living area is. They'll get a little bit warmer, but by the time it gets dark, then the AC will cool everything back down. It's not too bad. One thing we did do to kind of help reduce the effect of the doors being closed is on the kids' room, we did put a electric fan vent that basically sucks air from the living area and throws it into their room. It helped quite a bit, but for the most part, it still gets warmer in that room. It doesn't keep it 100%, but it did help quite a bit. So those are some of the options you can do. But if you got the money, like I said, I would go with a second unit with a double head on it. Just put the two heads, one in each room, and that would be a much better solution. But the vent is another option. It's way cheaper than buying a mini split. Something to consider, right? So just for reference, our location is kind of in the Midwest, United States, on the southern side of the Midwest. We get a good swing of temperatures here. Like I said, we did get below -5 last year. But I hope this video helps you. If you have any other questions, feel free to ask in the comments, and I'll try to get back to you if I know what the answer is. Thanks for watching.